Hi all, I am Chris Bastington. Welcome to the second edition of Jalaka. Central government has conferred Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, to Karpoori Thakur, the former Chief Minister of Bihar. On this 24th January, we celebrated his 100th birth anniversary. Karpoori Thakur, who was fondly known as Jananayak, the leader of the masses, the messiah of the downtrodden people. He was a champion of social justice politics that redefined Indian political landscape forever. He was a very honest, clean and uncorruptible politician with utmost integrity. He was a true socialist to the core, an educational reformist and a great visionary. And today we are trying to analyze the life contributions and legacy of this great leader. Karpoori Thakur was born in a village called Pidoncha in the Samastipur district of Bihar on 24th January 1924 as the son of Gopal Thakur and Ramdulari Devi. He was born in Nai community, which is one of the most depressed castes in Bihar. His family was very poor and he struggled very hard during his childhood, but he was a very bright student. He passed his matriculation in the first division. After this, his father approached one of the upper caste notable landlord in the village in order to seek help for his higher education. And then the landlord told to Karpoori Thakur, "Oh, you have passed matriculation in first division, so come and press my luck." This was the situation that was prevalent in Bihar at that time. If we look at the history of Bihar, during the colonial period in 1793, British East India Company implemented permanent settlement through which zamindari system was implemented throughout Bihar, which was then part of Bengal Presidency. This consolidated the hold of the landlords in the land, and it further strengthened the feudal system where upper caste owned land and other resources. The condition of the lower caste people were very pathetic at that time. And this situation continued throughout the period. Even there were some efforts from the downtrodden people, especially from people from the backward classes, against this upper caste domination. Especially we see in the 1920 Janayu movement by the Yadav community, and which later became the 1930 Triveni Sangam. It was actually the organizational form of this Janayu movement where Yadavs, Kurmis and Koyeris tried to come together and formed a union against the upper caste domination. But it did not, but they were not able to break this upper caste hold over the Bihar socio-political structure. And during the interim Congress period, if you see the 1935-1937 provisional government in Bihar, and then in 1945-46 provisional government in Bihar, where Congress interim governments ruled under the control of British Crown, we see the Bihar administration was very much conservative in nature when compared to the provisional Congress administrations in the provinces like United Provinces, in Bombay, Madras, where Congress ministries implemented some form of land reforms and pro-farmer and pro-peasant laws. But in Bihar, they were more loyal to the landholds and to the persisting feudal structure. And because of this, the hold of the upper caste became very strong in the socio-political milieu of Bihar. It was in this situation that Karpoori Thakur was born, and he actually fought against this social situation for the emancipation of the lower caste people. We will see how he led this fight throughout his career. Let's come back to his childhood. After his schooling, he went to CM College in Darbhanga for higher education, and he passed his BA from there. That time was one of the most glorious period for Indian youth. If we see the late 1930s and early 1940s, were a period when Indian national movement was at its peak, and Bihar was a hotbed of Gandhian movement. And this time we also see the emergence of the new youth movement in the Congress party in the form of Congress Socialist Party, CSP, a wing within the Congress party, which rebelled against some of the conservative positions of the established Congress figures. Jayaprakash Narayan and Ram Manohar Lokhe emerged as the great leaders of this Congress Socialist Party. Of course, the young Karpoori Thakur also got attracted to this stream, and he became active in the politics of Congress, especially Congress Socialist Party. And in 1942, as we know, it was the time of Quit India struggle, which became a wave throughout India, and Karpoori Thakur also became part of Quit India movement, especially under the leadership of Jayaprakash Narayan. If we see, it was Jayaprakash Narayan and also Ram Manohar Lokhe which influenced Karpoori Thakur a lot. We can see the imprints of these two leaders throughout the career of Jayaprakash Narayan, especially the philosophy and political ideology of Ram Manohar Lokhe became the core of Karpoori Thakur's activities. And during this Quit India struggle, Karpoori Thakur was incarcerated in prison, British prison, for almost 2 years. More than 2 years he was in jail. During the Quit India struggle, he gave a very great speech in the Krishna Talkies Hall in Patna, which became a historic speech, where he said that if all Indians unite together and speak together, then Britishers will wash away in that subsequent flood. So, in this 2 years of imprisonment period was also very important in the formation of Karpoori Thakur as a politician. During this period, he read a lot of books in the prison, and he interacted with other prison inmates, which attracted him more into the philosophy of socialism, especially the Gandhian socialism of Ram Manohar Lokhe, and he became more attracted towards that philosophy, and he made his mind that he will fight for the emancipation of the backward classes in his society with weaponizing that philosophy. And after then he come out of the jail. Then also he became a full-time active member of the Congress. Along with, he also taught a local college in his village as a part-time teacher. After independence, what we see is that from 1947 until 1967, the Indian political milieu was dominated by Congress. It was a period of one-party domination. In the Bihar, it was Sri Krishna Singh and Anugrah Narayan Singh, and also Vinodanand Jha, the three towering figures which led the Bihar Congress, and subsequently the Bihar state administration also. Sri Krishna Singh became the chief minister, and Anugrah Narayan Sinha became the finance minister. Throughout this period, Congress was dominated by upper caste people, and the Congress in 1948, the socialist wing of the Congress formally split from official Congress party, and they formed the Congress Socialist Party, and they became an opposition party, and it was led by Jayaprakash Narayan and Ram Manohar Lokhe and Acharya Narendra Dev. Karpoori Thakur also followed these leaders, and Ram Manohar Lokhe appointed him as the secretary of Socialist Party in Bihar in 1948, and he became very active in the activities of the Socialist Party in Bihar, and he became the cornerstone of socialist activities in Bihar. And in the 1952 legislative election, his first legislative election, he was elected as elected from Thakur constituency, and he became the voice of the opposition in the Bihar Legislative Assembly. And he also involved himself in trade union activities. He became the point man of socialist trade union activities. And in the 1960s, we can see the Socialist Party organized a lot of labor agitations throughout India, and especially throughout Bihar. In 1960, he organized a strike of central government employees in Bihar. And in 1965, he conducted a fast unto death for almost 28 days for the rights of the telecom workers. Thus, he emerged as a towering figure of the socialist movement in Bihar. In 1967 election was a turning point in Indian political history. It was the election in which the one-party dominant system of Congress has been challenged throughout India, especially in Bihar also. In 1967 election, even though Congress became the single largest party, the Sayukta Socialist Party was able to form the government in Bihar with the help of other small parties. And Mahamaya Prasad Sinha became the first non-Congress chief minister of Bihar. Karpoori Thakur was the architect of this government. Actually, Jayaprakash Narayan wanted Karpoori Thakur to become the chief minister of Bihar, but he stayed in the backside, and Mahamaya Prasad Sinha became the chief minister, and Karpoori Thakur became the deputy chief minister and the educational minister in that ministry from 1967 to 1968. And in the year 1970, he became 1970 December. He became the chief minister of Bihar. It was his first term as the chief minister of Bihar for almost 6 months until 1971 June. He remained as remained in this post. And it was there were several anecdotes regarding this. Even after he became the chief minister, one of the landlords asked his father to come and work in his field. But his father was very ill and he was unable to come to work. And the landlord became angry and he sent some gundas to attack his father. But the district administration came to know regarding this, and they arrived with the police and saved Karpoori Thakur's father. When Karpoori Thakur came to aware regarding this incident, he told to his bureaucrats, how many poor parents in this state have their son as the chief minister? Who will save all those parents? This incident shows how casteism was deeply entrenched in Bihar society. During this tenure as chief minister, he implemented many historical measures. He focused on primary education. If we look upon Indian history post-independence, we can see that India mainly focused on higher education, almost neglecting primary education. We established a lot of IITs and other higher educational institutions, but did not give much importance to primary education. If we compare with these countries like China and South Korea, which later became more developed, we can see that those countries initially gave more preference to primary education when compared to higher education. It is the primary education which goes to the common people and which can enable them to achieve social mobility. And Karpoori Thakur identified that this primary education, getting education, can help the poor people, especially people from backward class and downtrodden sections, to come out of the shackles of casteism and emancipate themselves. And Karpoori, for this, he made primary education until the class of 8 free for all. This was a revolutionary measure when compared to the standard of that time. As we all know that it is only in 2005 that the government implemented Right to Education Act, which made education free. So this shows his foresight and his vision beyond his time. That shows his greatness. And he also understood the language problem in the education sector also. He removed English as a compulsory subject in the matriculation curriculum of Bihar. Because people from rural areas of Bihar, people from poor backgrounds, they were suffering because of English. And he gave more importance to Hindi in the primary education. This helped poor people a lot. This also got reflected in the higher education sector and in the employment sector of Bihar. People from these deprived and marginalized sections of communities got representation in all these sectors. And he also gave Urdu the status of the second state language. This was also a great measure. Prior to partition, cities of Patna and Bihar were important centers of Urdu language and culture. But after because of the trauma of the partition, Urdu suffered a lot, and it is through this measure he actually revived Urdu language and culture, and it also uplifted the dignity of the minority community also. and he also gave importance to the agricultural sector also. He abolished the taxation from non-profitable land, which helped farmers a lot. He also understood the problem of unemployment also. During that time, unemployment was very rampant, and in 1971, he conducted a mass induction of engineers, almost 9,000 engineers to the irrigation department of Bihar, which was very revolutionary at that time. Nowadays, we know that people are following that method. 1 month ago, Nitish Kumar conducted a mass induction of teachers into the educational sector of Bihar. These whole things are actually started by him. It also underlines his great vision and foresight. He also implemented enforced the complete prohibition of alcohol in Bihar. This was also a revolutionary movement. But the later governments revoked this ban. But as we all know that Nitish Kumar again re-implemented this measure. The genesis of this measure also we can find from Karpoori Thakur. So his first tenure in all these things was very revolutionary in nature, even though that period was very brief. And in 1971, he, because of the internal tussles within that multi-party coalition government, he lost his position as the chief minister. And in the 1972 legislative election, a Congress government came back to power. Then we can see when the center also Congress came into power. Indira Gandhi became more powerful after this Bangladesh war and all those things. But from 1972 onwards, we can gradually see many problems are emerging in India. Farming became a problem, and unemployment became rampant, and inflation was skyrocketing, and this created a lot of resentments among the people, and this gradually was emerging as a movement. It was at that time that Karpoori Thakur's guru, the great Jayaprakash Narayanan, came out of his retirement life, and he again came into politics, and he started the total revolution movement against the tyranny of the central government. And Karpoori Thakur became part of that movement, and it was the Bihar Chhatra Sangharsha Samiti which became the focal point of this movement. And in Bihar, this movement, especially led by students, became a storm, and Karpoori Thakur became very active in that movement. And as we all know, then in 1975, Indira Gandhi implemented emergency, and this movement then transformed into a movement against emergency. And along with Jayaprakash Narayanan, Karpoori Thakur was also forefront of this movement against emergency, but he was jailed for almost 2 years. He was in jail along with other leaders. And in 1977, the post-emergency election, the Congress was completely truncated in Bihar, like in all most of the states in India. And the Janata Party came into power. As we all know, Janata Party was a coalition of many different parties. The Socialists were there, the Janasangh were there, and the BLD were there, and the Congress organization, which was separated from Indira Congress, that was also part of this Janata coalition. And in this Janata coalition, it was Karpoori Thakur who emerged as the leader, and he became the chief minister in 1977. It was his second and the last tenure as the chief minister. From 1977 to 1979, for almost 2 years, he became the chief minister of Bihar. And it is his tenure that he redefined himself. We just discussed during the historic measure that he took in his first tenure, but in his second tenure, he took a turn that completely redefined Indian politics forever. In 1971, actually, during as we have discussed, during the Socialist Party government in Bihar, the government have appointed a commission, Mungirilal Commission, in order to inquire regarding the situation of the other backward classes of Bihar. And as we know, until that time, the reservation was only for scheduled caste and scheduled communities. Even when the Kaka Kalekar Commission in 1950 they recommended for special reservation for other backward classes and identified the section of other backward classes. The Congress government in center did not took up that report. And it is in this context that in 1971, the then socialist government appointed the Mungerlal Commission, and this commission gave the report in 1975 when Congress was in power. But they did not took up that report. And in 1977, when he came back to power, Karpoori Thakur took up that report and he implemented that report, which changed the destiny of Indian politics forever. In this Mungerlal Commission report recommended for reservation of the other backward classes. It also stated that the backward class in Bihar suffers a lot and they need these positive discrimination measures in order to uplift themselves. And the Commission recommended 26% reservation for 26% reservation in total, which includes 12% reservation for OBC category, 8% reservation for EBC, extremely backward category, 3% reservation for women, and 3% reservation for economically backward sections of the general community. And this was a historic measure. And as we can see that it is the Mungerlal Commission made a sub-categorization within the OBC, like the OBC and the EBC, which later become BC1 and BC2 in the current reservation stream of Bihar. And we can also see that the reservation for women, which is also revolutionary at that time, and even now also it is revolutionary. And the reservation for economically backward sections in sections from general category, that was also revolutionary. We can see that only recently that EWS category was formed in India. So he was a visionary. That's why he was able to do it at that time. The implementation of this Mungerlal Commission report created a seismic shift in the Bihar politics. A lot of people, he got a lot of appreciation, but a lot of brickbats also. The backlash from this measure, he even costed even his chief ministership. Especially the Congress Organization Party and the Jansan Party in the coalition was not happy with this measure, because most of the constituents of these parties came from upper caste section, and the leaders like Satyendra Narayan Sinha and Kailashpati Misra, they criticized Karpoori Thakur, and because of their pressure, Karpoori Thakur was removed from chief ministership in 1979 and Ram Sundar Das was replaced as the chief minister. This shows his integrity. He knows that if he implement this Mungerlal Commission report, he knows that the severe backlash will happen. It will even cost his chief ministership. He was aware of that, but still he stayed true to his convictions. And he understood that his mission was to help in the emancipation of the backward classes. He was never interested in power. He was interested in doing good, in helping the emancipation process of the backward classes. That shows how great he was, his commitment to his mission. And as we all know, in 1979, a lot of splits happened in the Janata Party, and the split happened in Bihar Janata also. Karpoori Thakur went with the faction of the Charan Singh, and in the 1980 election, Congress came back to power in center and in Bihar also. It was a huge Congress wave, but still Karpoori Thakur was able to win from Samastipur constituency, and he became the opposition leader in the Bihar Legislative Assembly. He became the voice of the opposition. And in the 1984 Lok Sabha election, also he contested. It was the first time he was contesting in the Lok Sabha election, but it was the Lok Sabha election after the assassination of Indira Gandhi. It was a huge Congress wave, and he was defeated in that contest. It was the only one defeat in his entire political career. And in the 1985 Bihar legislative election, he became elected from Sonborsa constituency, and he again became the opposition leader in the Bihar legislature assembly. In that election also Congress became the victor and they formed the government. But the forces that Karpoori Thakur unleashed has created a great seismic shift in the Bihar political milieu. That lot of leaders emerged from the backward classes, and gradually these leaders gradually marginalized Karpoori Thakur. The leaders like Anup Lal Yadav, Srinarayan Yadav, and Lalu Prasad Yadav, they became the emergence of these leaders. They became gradually marginalized Karpoori Thakur, and he was removed as the leader of the opposition. And then also he served in the legislative assembly. He was respected by everyone, and in 1988 he passed away at the age of 62. At that time also he was serving this tenure as the MLA, and he died in a very young age, at the age of 62, especially for a politician. But he achieved his mission of emancipating the backward classes, completely changing and redefining, remolding Indian politics forever. As we all know that in 1979, the Janata government in the center appointed the Mandal Commission. This appointment of Mandal Commission occurred only because Karpoori Thakur implemented the Mungairlal Commission report, and it created pressure on the Janata government to do it in a central level. In that way, it is actually Karpoori Thakur, his implementation of the Mungairlal Commission report, that led to the seismic change in the Indian political milieu and the emergence of the social justice politics in general. And as we all know, after a decade in 1989, VP Singh government implemented Mandal Commission report that changed Indian politics forever. So actually, it was the courage and determination and resilience of Karpoori Thakur which led to this change. He was actually a true Jananayak, the leader of the masses, and he was an uncorruptible politician with utmost integrity. There are a lot of anecdotes regarding his honesty and his integrity. In 1952, he was part of a mission which went to then Yugoslavia, and there they met Joseph Tito, the then leader of the Yugoslavia, and Karpoori Thakur was wearing a very toned coat, and Tito asked regarding this, and the story is that Tito gifted him a new coat. And this honesty he continued throughout his career also. In 1977, when he was the chief minister, there was a celebration conducted commemorating the birthday of Jayaprakash Narayana. In that event, he wore still a very toned coat, and saying this Chandrasekhar, the great socialist leader, he said that, look, the chief minister is wearing this type of dress, and he actually did a crowdfunding in order to buy a new cloth for the chief minister, and gave that money to Karpoori Thakur. But Karpoori Thakur donated that money to chief minister's relief fund. This shows his integrity. And lastly, after his death, a lot of leaders visited his ancestral home in Pidaunjia. H.N. Bahuguna, the great leader, he narrates that incident when he went to the ancestral home of Chief Minister Karpoori Thakur. What he saw was a hut. It was actually a very pathetic condition, a hut in a very pathetic, dilapidated condition. And he acquired nothing throughout his 4 decades of political journey. He lived only for the people. He dedicated everything for the people. H.N. Bahuguna narrates that he actually cried seeing the pathetic condition of the late Chief Minister's house. This type of integrity we can't see in contemporary politics. He was a brand of politician that got inspired from Mahatma Gandhi, from Jayaprakash Narayan and Ram Manohar Lohiya, and gave everything to the society and for the emancipation of the downtrodden people. He actually was the messiah of the downtrodden people. The social justice politics, which was actually founded by Ram Manohar Lohiya. Ram Manohar Lohiya is the architect of social justice politics. But it was Karpoori Thakur who undertook that mission and who succeeded in delivering that mission and changed the Indian political landscape forever. And his legacy will live on Indian politics forever. The leaders like Ramvilas Paswan, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Nitish Kumar, all are his disciples and continue his legacy. The central government, Bharat Ratna, it may have many political ramifications in Bihar. The time we are taking this video, we know that in Bihar politics, shifts are happening, alignments and realignments are happening. Some people argue that this decision also contributed to that. We are not going into that political discussions because of the time constraints. But Karpoori Thakur's legacy, it will live on Indian socio-political milieu because it was his action, it was his determination that helped the emancipation of the backward classes. And he was a politician with utmost caliber and a politician with great integrity. His legacy will be embedded in Bihar politics and in Indian politics. Thank you so much.